Bo and Luke Nation, welcome to another episode of the Bo and Luke Show. I'm your co-host, Luke Carignan, and I'm here in our virtual studio with our other amazing co-host, Bo Brabo. And we have the pleasure today of having Sana Salam on the show. I actually met Sana as a referral through one of our partners at SAP that I work with in my day job. I know everybody's like, oh, Luke does podcasts all the time. I do have a day job as well. And that's how I got to meet Sana. And the referrer that sent her my way was actually, she's a pretty high-ranking VP over at SAP. There's a big global company, and just raved about Sana. She said, oh, you have to meet this person and have them on your show. So here we are, and we made it into reality, right, Bo? Because that's what we do here on the Bo and Luke shows. We just
take action.
We take action. We turn dreams into reality, and now here we are. So Sana is the CEO and founder of an organization called Sodales Solutions. I'm going to let her describe exactly what Sodales does and her journey to get there. But long story short, they have made a big splash and partner with a number of ERP companies out there. Some that you might know, like Oracle, SAP, obviously, is where she came in through. And just, these partner organizations that they have, there's no way to sugarcoat this, but you kind of you got to have your stuff together, right, in order for them to want to do business with you. They don't just invite anybody into their partner ecosystem. So I'm always super intrigued when somebody is, founder and CEO and brought it up and gets these partnerships. Because you're doing, Bo, you're doing something legit, right? When these billion-dollar companies are like, hey, you'd be a great add-on here and fill a good need.
Yeah, of course.
So let's jump right in. Give a warm welcome to Sana Salam. Welcome, Sana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, Bo. Hello, Luke. Nice to meet you. So just quick introduction. My name is Sana. I am the leader of a company, Sodales, and it is a company that we founded with literally $20 investment. And today we have worldwide customers that are using our software. So we're actually a software company that fulfills a critical need for compliance in HR sector for regulated industries. So that covers public sector, utilities, transportation, railway, manufacturing, construction, and healthcare, and higher education as well. So some of our clients are World Bank, Lockheed Martin, ULA. We have many of the city governments, state governments utilizing our products. We also have top 10 utilities across North America and some of the global utilities utilizing our product. Within international sector, we have government of Saudi Arabia and other organizations that are in public sector, very prominent ones utilizing our software. So it's a software that makes the life of regulated industries better by making them even more compliant because their exposure level is very high. And we have an international team, and we're based out of Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
That is
Let's
cool.
unpack that.
Yeah.
That's a lot to unpack. So where are we going to start?
Very good. So I'll give you some quick background as well on how the company was formed. The company was actually formed with just an experimentation, just trying to learn what's out there, what's in the market, where the needs are. And I think first 4 or 5 years, we're just learning how cloud products are built, because I personally had no experience in cloud or just building a company. So I think that was just first 5 years, and then building a little bit of cash flow and just doing other gigs just to learn. And then from there, we were able to create a team. And so I think I just stayed solo for my first few years. And then from there, began to build a team, build a software. And it's been only 4 years that we've launched our main major platform. And since then, we've just been doubling in our growth, customer base, adding on more and more enterprises, larger enterprises. In general, an enterprise would have up to 400,000 employees utilizing our solution at the same time. So as you add more enterprises, it just multiplies our user base as well.
Wow.
That's amazing. I think out of all of everything that you just said, and for the folks listening, because, our platform and helping people do better, I think there was a key thing that you said there. And this is, I think, important for anybody, whether they're an entrepreneur or they're just trying to start a single company. It took you first 5 years. Like 5 years is not a short amount of time. So, and then it's the last 4 years you stated like that you're really like now you're flowing with the product and what it is that you're offering. I think it takes a lot of discipline for folks starting companies that, you know, it's not a get rich quick scheme to start a company and build a company and grow a company. Like, it's determination and discipline. How did you face that? Like, how did those first 5 years, you know, as you're going along, did you ever have moments of doubt or want to give up or go do something different? Or were you just that determined that you're going to keep working to figure this out?
I love this question because this is a question I ask myself every single day. So I would answer that by saying, I think you are the first investor in your life. That's how I started. So any person out there, you're the first investor of your life. So your time, your energy, your money, your time in this world while you're alive, and what you can do with it. So for example, you can do this one thing and live a day job, and then and which is something you can really love, and then go back to bed and next day wake up again and do the same thing. Or you can say, I would start from the my end goal that I want to maybe help X number of people. By the time my life ends, for example, could be I want to help 100,000 people, for example. You
Mm-hmm.
start with that and you realize that you're living a very limited life and you're living a life just for yourself. So once you decide that, you'd say, okay, my time investment is actually better suited if I can create something that doesn't just benefit me, but it benefits a lot of people. But that means I need to have money, I need to have connections, I need to know influential people, and I need to have experience or knowledge to be able to create something unique that people will actually pay for. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, that was the journey, the first 5 years to find the right idea, to find the right either ecosystem or connections, I would call it. So I think I just focused on learning. And I was very well aware of my surroundings, that I am surrounding myself with the people who are nurturing me as an entrepreneur. I am building myself into an entrepreneur. So yes, there were moments of doubt, but I think they were always offset by the constant learning around me. In addition, I would say that I was very humble. So I was not looking to get rich. I was looking to think that eventually there will be an impact. So for example, today our company employs more than 80% females, especially females who are either single mothers or young females, and we help them build their careers up. We give them really good tools to be able to raise children while being engineers and building tech products. We also then give back from the company's earnings into third world countries and other causes, especially again for women who are widows, are really old, can't support themselves, by giving them something that they can do at home. So that's really where our most of the earning after the company is earning its revenue is going back to those families. And we have a count of it, and as of today we've helped more than 400 families just through the company earnings. So I
Wow.
think keeping those goals in mind was helpful. So yes, first 5 years were super hard. Even most days today are hard, but I think it just gets easier because you get used to it and you're always thinking in those moments, it's not just for me, it's for a lot of other people that I want to make an impact on. And I want to just really say something is that I think what you should aim for in this entire process is not fame, is not money, is respect and knowledge. I think really want to say these two words, respect and knowledge. And that would be your drivers to start building the discipline, to not be so focused on earning something quickly and be rich very quickly. And as you do that, you will build high quality habits that would attract money and the right connections and the right people into your life that will lift you up.
Amazing. We should
Yeah,
just
that is
mic drop
incredible.
like right there.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
was fantastic.
Yeah, that was
Very
amazing.
good.
Did you say you started this with a $20 investment?
Mhm.
Was this $20 US or Canadian?
I
Yeah.
would say it would be US. And I would
US,
say that
okay.
because my first 2-3 years were just about learning how cloud products are built. So it was very critical to go to and visit different cloud labs, I would say. So I used to take a bus. It's called Greyhound bus.
Sure.
Mhm.
We're familiar.
It's literally a $20 bill that you pay, and you can take a trip to US. For example, you can go to Philadelphia, which is where we had a lot of these cloud products labs where people are actually building stuff. And what you can do there if you're working as a volunteer, especially, is to learn how things are made. It just doesn't mean you make the same thing, but you actually learn the process of making. So it's the same skill set that eventually we needed to build eventually a product or a company. So that is what I used to do. And I did that for almost 2 years. And when you said there, I think you said something really important, is that you had the moments of doubt. I mean, that was the time when I had the most doubt, because I did have a high paid job before that. And there was a break in between, and I used to think, oh my God, this is not good. Because sometimes I used to take late evening buses, and it's almost like a 4 or 5 hour ride. And I would say that I think in my surroundings at that time, I used to have people who would say, oh my God, what were you thinking? Why did you get yourself into this trouble? You had a very prestigious job. And I think those are the only times when I had moments of doubt. And I would say then eliminating those bad or negative energy around me was super helpful to then just stay focused.
Wow. Have you ever, I'm sure you have, unless I'm wrong, and this was just a success story where you started, it just went up and to the right and you're killing it now. What challenges have you ever run into a big, huge challenge in the business, and how'd you handle that? I once got, when I was younger, I was at my in-laws, they were having a Christmas party, and this guy came out, he sold a government contracting firm for like $500 million. So I was like, well, I'm young, I'm going to ask him how to do it. So I'm just like, what's your advice? Like, how do you handle this? How do you get that much money? And he was basically like, well, it's solely on your ability to handle disasters. He's like, and during your business, you will have 3 to 5 absolute disasters that will take your company down. And as long as you can get past those, making the money is actually pretty easy.
I like that. And there's a book by John Maxwell, and he's a great leader of leadership. And he talks about turning points in life. And he talks about every human gets at least 6 to 9 turning points in their lifetime. And actually, those turning points start to come in very early in your life. And most people who make good decisions during their turning points, and sometimes those will be very difficult decisions, they will actually do really well in life, because those turning points define the direction of their life. Same thing applies to a company as well, in my opinion. And I think in our case, it was actually when we were pivoting between 2015 and the period to 2018 or 19, we were actually trying to be a different type of company. We were trying to be a service company, and we had a completely different team structure, and actually had a business partner as well at that time. And we realized that we were not going the right direction, even though we began to earn a lot at that time. We had multi-million-dollar contracts already, but it was a choice to walk away from it. And that was a very difficult choice, to restart again. And basically that we lost almost 3 years of that time frame to begin again. And everybody's saying, oh my God, are you crazy? Why are you doing this? And I think that was the right direction to pick and choose, that this is where you want to go. And I reset the company and rebuilt it from a brand new team again. I think that was a turning point for us. But I think that 1 year was difficult and hard, where you're go through that disaster and everything is unplugging and you're replugging, you're doubting your decision as well. And days get harder because there's no cash flow. And that puts a lot of pressure as well. And just so you know, as of today, we're still bootstrapped as a company.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. I think, we were talking a little bit before the show started, before we hit record, and I 100% agree with what you said from Maxwell about the 6 to 9 turning points in life. I can even for myself look at those turning points, and I remember them very specifically because they absolutely were turning points. Other people might call you crazy, like, why are you doing this? Why are you resetting? I would say you're courageous in doing that. And people who make those types of decisions during those times, I honestly believe, in all the different people that we've talked to from all around the world on this podcast, and different types of entrepreneurial journeys, or just their journey in life. I boiled it down to that one thing. I really believe if we tie them all together with a common trait, it's courage. And it's varying degrees of courage. Like, somebody who thinks you're crazy probably doesn't have the level of courage to take the types of risks that you did. Cash flow's a struggle. That means your personal life can be a struggle, right? It's not just your business, it's your life. And you're taking this on because why? Because you said it earlier. You had a purpose. You had a thing that you wanted to achieve. It's like, what are these results at the end that we're going after? And that drove you to be courageous. So I think you're identifying some of the most key traits just through your story, Sana, that I think people can grab onto and find true inspiration from. So I couldn't be more thankful for you sharing that.
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the word courage because I want to say it's something so important for everyone out there listening is that it is like a muscle and you can build it. So I used to be a very shy person who knew nothing about even this field, had no connection. Like you repeat that because that can be very overwhelming. Like you can always think about what would be my starting point. And it's almost like a chicken and egg story because if you don't have money, you can't build a product. If you don't have product, you can't build a team. So it's chicken and egg story. And I think courage is something you can build, and it's something as you fail through steps and figure out the next steps and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes that does mean pause, reflect, and restart, maybe in a very creative way. You can build courage. And if you have setbacks, it's totally normal that you will build some sort of paranoia where you're no longer courageous, but you can rebuild it again. So that means if you do fall down, don't just give up. You can actually rebuild that personality again and restart. That's also very important.
Yep, absolutely.
That's amazing. So Sana, how are you balancing everything? We talk about work-life harmony here a lot. What's your style? How many hours a week are you putting in? Are you a workaholic? Are you like, hey, no, we'll work on it? And then you have, because we don't know, you could be like climbing Mount Everest in your spare time for all we know.
I love it. Well, I enjoy my life. I think this is the happiest time of my life.
Good.
I'm more happier than I was ever before. Even when I was working for large enterprises, I'm more happy now. And I would say I work more hours, but I enjoy my work because I try to use my time to coach new team members. I work a lot with immigrants, especially to help them, even build a resume and just sharing experiences. So I think I enjoy my work. I work a lot of hours. Most days I start at 7 and my day around, say 6 o'clock, then take a few hours of nap and then start again. And I work till late night. And I do work every Sunday. And it's something that I enjoy to a level that if I'm not working, I'm not enjoying my life. So I call it indulging as opposed to working because I'm actually enjoying the process of creation and see what else can we do. And I think that's the part of the job that's really, really nice. But balancing it is key.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I think for me, that's mental health. Is anything that's impacting your mental health. It's just making sure that you take care of that. So if you have a difficult day, just make sure that you go out, go for a run, exercise, eat well. So that's what I call as balancing is as part of the job.
Yeah. Luke, I think it's important to note, right? Because we've talked to folks, we know people, Sana, we've run into them in the workplace. Because I think you just described, you say integration, it's hard. It's so harmonious. Your life. It's just your life and you enjoy it so much. The work that you're doing. I've seen leaders constantly walk through the halls of an organization because they're trying to help their team. I think that it comes from the heart and they're trying to help their people find balance. So they like force them to go home or force them to leave the office and go home. Right. And Luke and I work a lot in healthcare, and you even hear those stories where they're trying to make even the doctors and the surgeons go home like you're working too much. And when we get into these discussions, what's often missing is the feedback from, if you have somebody who became a surgeon because they really wanted to save lives, being in the OR, even if it's for 14 hours a day, and that's what they love to do, they don't see it as I need balance. They're like, I am serving my purpose. This is what I love. Why would you make me go home? Right. So it's such I think that's why Luke and I are on this mission to like really try to teach people and in the education's just in educating people on harmony and helping people find their purpose, and don't force this work-life balance on people. Because if they're like you and they just love life and they love what they're doing, and look, you said it yourself, you're happier than you've ever been. But somebody who's not in that position might say, my gosh, Sana works 80 hours a week. I would never do that. Well, no, she's not really working. She just loves what she does. And why wouldn't you want her doing that?
Exactly. You said it right. And I also think of it as a responsibility. I always teach my team in the people I coach is whether you work with us or whether you work anywhere, just know that if you have high energy and if you have knowledge and skill set, it's your responsibility to share it and amplify it and multiply it, because there's a lot of bad in the world, but the good can become more powerful if we actually enrich it, which means it's all of our responsibility, knowledge, skills, expertise, passion, energy, use it to multiply and to good in the world. That's really what I think we should be thinking about.
So
Amen.
True. So true. Oh, Sana, this has been great. Sana, for the last few minutes here, we just give you a chance to address the audience and say whatever you want. Tell them about Sodales. Leave them with, some good parting thoughts, and then we'll wrap up.
Yes, very good. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on this show, Bo and Luke. It's a pleasure and an honor to be speaking with you and your audience. So first of all, go check out SodalesSolutions.com. That's our website. And we basically focus, like I said, on regulated industries, compliance. It's a very unique need for especially unions and their needs, an area that's been ignored for years. And we help them make their lives better with safety and better relationships and a better transparency. It's something that they've been craving for. But on top of that, I think my message for the audience would be is to have a learning mindset in across your entire life. Doesn't matter if you're young, doesn't matter if you're old. As long as you're learning, you will be living. And it does mean that if you have a personal setback or you've had a career setback, just learning from the process and trying to make your life better and do better the next time would be something that will take you to the next step. So next time when you set your new year resolution, don't just set it up for the revenue or the big house or that love relationship, but also think about what are the habits that I can build that can elevate my game next year. And it could be something so simple as maybe using less of social media, or maybe making better quality friends. So just, check on yourself and start building those habits and set up those goals every year. And I think that would transform your life. That's how I've done my New Year resolutions year over year. And I think that is what helped me become a better person where I am today.
Well said. That is great advice.
Super.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Well, Bo and Luke Nation, you've been listening to the Bo and Luke Show with Sana Salam. Sana, thank you so much. And you're always welcome back. I gained a lot from this. I think our listeners did too. And, you're an awesome person. So I'm really glad we were able to meet.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And that's a wrap.